It is Thursday morning. Can't get this phone to work. Actually, I dropped the phone in the toilet this morning. Yep. Anyway, I got it working. I dried it up, and now it's working. I had a little trouble with it. So hopefully it records right. We're going to talk about estimates this morning. Handling estimates can be tricky. Yesterday, I did an estimate in Dallas, Texas. And just when you know you're not going to get the estimate, so many small techniques that can be done. Some little small things that can happen that you know you're not going to get the estimate. For instance, I went and I did the estimate yesterday, $3,500, 25 or 35. I don't even remember. It was yesterday. I can't even remember. And I did the estimate yesterday. And when I was done, I told the guy, I said, yeah, just let me know when you need me out here. He said it was his rental property. It was his and his commercial business, right? It's his business, supposedly. But all of a sudden, he has to ask his wife. He says, well, you know, it's a good competitive pricing. Let me ask my wife and see what she thinks about it. I knew automatically I didn't get the bid. I'm just like, you don't have to ask your wife, dude. If it's your business, you don't ever have to ask your wife. Just price it. Anyway, yeah, you have to ask his wife. When he said that, you should have seen me go to a beeline to the front door to get out of that house. I was like morning HD. I was so determined to get out of that place. I was like, oh God, dude, I'm out of here. You're just wasting my time. I made a beeline to the door. I've heard that so many times in the past, and it's not the realization that you just missed the estimate because you drove all the way to their place. Kind of ticks you off, you know? But it was a very competitive price. I know it was. Gave him that price knowing that I was going to be the lowest one, but now he's going to check with his wife. Anytime they got to check with somebody, you're not going to get the job. For instance, hey, I got to check with my investors. Hey, I got to check with my business partner. Forget it, dude. See, when you give a good price, you know what happens? When you give a good price, you know automatically that the owner, when you give them the price, the owner automatically goes, holy cow, I'm going to jump at that price because that's a good competitive price. And he'll say, okay, you know, when can you come out? They'll automatically book you right then and there. Think about this. When was the last time you went and gave an estimate and 2 days later the guy calls you and tells you to go do the job? They're like, yeah, no, go ahead and go do it, man. We thought about it. Me and my wife thought about it. We sat at the dinner table and we decided to give you the job. Yeah, let me consult with my ancestors. I'll let you know. Whatever, dude. What's up, Anario? Good morning. What's up, Alex? Jeffrey, what's up, man? Good morning. It's nice out here today. I worked at the haunted house last night. Oh, that was miserable. It was hot. So, yeah, it was just when they know they got to consult with somebody or talk to somebody about the pricing, trust me, you're not going to get the job. That's one of the oldest tricks in the book. You know, and I hope they don't think that I'm like sitting there by the phone waiting for their phone call. Because I do move on with my life while they're going to consult their physician to find out if they're going to hire me. You know what I mean? Whatever. It's just frustrating. So I had an estimate the week prior. And here's when you know you don't have the job, okay? The lady hired me. It was $1,000 job. And she says, okay, yeah, let me book you for Thursday. So on Thursday, I called this lady in the morning. And this was a booking that was for like 12 o'clock. It was for 12 p.m. afternoon. And she booked me to be there at that time. I called her at 10. At 10 o'clock, a.m. in the morning. I call her at 10 a.m. to ask her to just confirm, hey, we're going to be on our way. Our ETA is going to be 12:05, whatever. And she says this. This is when you know you ain't got the estimate, the job anymore. She says, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it today. My funds aren't ready. They'll be ready in a couple of weeks. Oh my gosh. When they say something like that, that means their money's not straight. They're catching up to bills and stuff. They're not going to hire you again. And sure enough, I haven't heard from the lady again. They have to round up the money to pay me. What am I, like the last payment on earth? I am the last person you're gonna make a payment to? Is that what's going on? Yeah, I don't think so. It's just so disearning and so disappointing when you hear that. And boy, I have not got a big job. As a matter of fact, the only big job I got was Monday's job for $3,000, and I gave it to Maddie. Maddie made the money. He posted a video about him knocking out the shed and everything. You know, that's ridiculous. Some people just don't realize the importance of that. And you know what? And here's another thing. Let me just tell you something else. Owners will leverage, business owners, commercial owners, homeowners will leverage your estimate onto others' estimates. And it sucks. I did a small video about this on TikTok yesterday. You always want to get your when you're giving an estimate, you always want to be the last person to give that estimate, especially if they're getting 2 or 3 bids. I'm going to tell you why. Owners will leverage your estimate towards other competitors. For instance, let me tell you something. I once remember going and giving an estimate for $5,000, and that owner turns around. He calls one of my friends. He calls one of my competitors. And I had told my friend, hey, you're going to get a phone call from this guy. And so what happened is I went to go do a $5,000 bid on this property. And the guy said, well, do you know anyone else that does junk removal? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll have him call you. So I just called one of my friends. I said, bro, just bid high. Just bid high. Well, supposedly what this guy did was leverage my bid. He told him, hey, if you could beat $5,000, then I'll hire you. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? If you could beat $5,000. Well, apparently my buddy did not. He said $6,500, so he got a bid on purpose. You know, it's one of those fake bids. You know what's crazy? Is this guy did not hire me for $5,000. He hired another company because he leveraged my bid. He told the other guy, well, I got a bid for $5,000. You can beat that. It's your job. The guy probably bid $4,800 and he ended up for $200. You know what I mean? So leveraging the estimate's a big deal. Always be aware that, you know what's funny? I use that technique all the time. I'm always like, well, if you got other bids, you know, I can beat it. I'm always telling the owner, you know, let me know where I need to be, you know, feel comfortable. And that's another thing, negotiating the estimate. That's a big deal. You always want to know where you're at in the estimate. You know what I mean? You always want to offer, hey, how much are you trying to spend? Where you're at? Where are your finances? You know, can I meet you somewhere? You always want to try to get the customer to tell you where they're at in the bidding process, right? What number are they at? Where are they going to have that special feeling to pay you? I think that's really, really important. And sometimes, I guess, you know, if you can't be there, I remember one time I did this bid for like $800, and I asked the lady, I said, well, man, where are you at? And she goes, well, I was planning to spend $300. And I was just, okay, we're just way off. We're just way off. I said, yeah, I can't do it. And she hired somebody to do it for like $300. I'm just like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm not going to waste my time. I've been doing this too long, you know? Yeah. Junk Guy says, I had 3 cancellations this week. I've never had that happen. All big jobs. So Honorio tells me he had 3 cancellations this week on jobs. Trust me, Honorio, I definitely beat you on that, dude. I've had so many cancellations left and right. It's pitiful. It doesn't even make any sense. Estimates are the worst. Good morning. You know, people just don't. People just these days are more cautious about how they're spending money. That's why it's so important that when you give your estimate, and it's so important that when you give a financially discretionary estimate properly. Don't try to gouge these people, and the days of gouging for me are over. I've learned with this economy, the bids that I missed so bad lately, I don't even try to outprice myself out of these jobs. I'm just trying to get the job these days. The last big job that we got was Monday for $3,000. It was Monday. And it wasn't even my bid. I helped Maddie. You know what's funny? Is this what happened to Maddie? I'm gonna tell you what happened to Maddie. And this is kind of an estimate kind of deal, okay? Yeah, cancellations ain't no joke, dude. Yeah. Alex says, if a customer is shopping for prices, I'll say, check what 1-800 says. Yeah, of course. I learned that from Ricardo, yeah. You know, just think about that. So, in Frisco, they pay a little higher than they do in Dallas. And Maddie went to go do, I got this phone call from the guy. He said, I want my whole gazebo tore down. Here's some pictures of it. It was huge. Maddie went over there and he priced it at $5,000. The next day, the guy reaches out to him and says, hey, I got a bid for $2,500. Can you beat that? And then I turned around and I told Maddie, hey, Maddie was all worried. He's like, Dad, I'm gonna miss this job. I really want this job. I said, son, hold on. He's lying to you. He did not get a bid at 9 o'clock in the morning that fast. He just didn't get it. He's just telling you where he's at on the price. Maddie, are you sure? I said, yeah. I said, price it at $3,500. Tell him the best you could do. Hey, tell him you're sorry, but the best you could do is $3,500, and that's the best. You know? Maddie was like, oh man, Dad. I said, just call him. He goes, I'm gonna tell him 3,000. I said, no, dude, he's faking you. He's trying to lie to you. Just tell him $3,500, you'll get the job. There's nobody who went out there at 9 a.m. in the morning and gave his bid. He goes, okay. He goes, got off the phone, called me right back. He goes, Dad, I got the job for $3,000. And I was like, why didn't you 35? He goes, I thought it was too high. But now I regret it because I knew he would take 35. He was lying to me. Listen, he didn't have another bid for $2,500. He was just trying to get Maddie down on the price. That's all he was trying to do. And I said, Maddie, he would have took 35. Listen, regardless, that's how customers are. And here's another thing for you. Think about that. How people are, man. You know, how people will try to negotiate with you and be sneaky with you. Oh my gosh. It's so sneaky how customers are these days. They just want to get when the money's tight, man. When the money's tight, it's the almighty dollar that counts. You know what I mean? It's the almighty dollar. So these estimates have gotten a lot tougher, and a lot more competitive in this market. Yeah, it has, and it's disappointing because it used to never be like that. They just go with the first price, you know. So. I just think that whenever you're doing an estimate, guys, my opinion, my overall summary of this, and it is my opinion, is that we have to be more cautious about the pricing industry. You have to be more cautious about pricing your estimates the correct way, because ultimately, it's a more competitive market. It's way more competitive, and it's a lot tougher. That's what you get for using Google Ads. Competition, oh no. I turned the Google ad campaign on for a few hours yesterday, costing me $200. All 3 leads canceled this morning, yeah. Never even know they're probably fake too, dude. $200 to turn on Google. Wow, isn't that crazy? There's even scams out there ran by the biggest corporations. It just seems like a scam to me that this guy Jeffrey turned on his Google ads yesterday, Ended up getting 3 jobs, got charged $200, and all 3 jobs canceled on him. So I'm gonna give you an update really quick before I get off this. A side note, guys, thanks for staying tuned for the estimates. But here's what happened yesterday. The haunted house related. The permit guy, the inspector, came by my warehouse in Fort Worth and was not impressed. He failed me on everything. He failed me on water, electric, building, mechanical, everything. He failed me on everything. He was frustrated when he got there because he didn't want to be there. I forced him to go out there. I told his superior, hey, nobody's been out here. This portal, which is the inspection portal, really sucks. And I forced him to go out there and give me an inspection. So he wasn't happy at first anyway. When he gets there, he's like, I know this property, blah, blah, blah. Look at this. And we had taken a lot of stuff out of the building and set it outside already. So the building did look like crap yesterday. Then he comes out, hey, look at the high grass. And there was high grass on the property because we've been waiting for an inspector to come and he never showed. So yeah, it did look pretty bad yesterday. And we failed. So right after he left and gave me attitude, I mean, this dude laid into me. He goes, well, this property just looks like shit. Why do I have to give you a price on, an inspection on something that looks like crap? When he said that to me, I was just like, dude, you're mean, dude. I'm not cool, bro. And I called his superior. I said, listen, the inspector came by. He wasn't in the mood to look at my building. He didn't even want to look at my building. Listen, I just need an inspector that's going to come by here and tell me what's wrong and tell me what I need to fix so I can pass. All I want. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. The building that I purchased up in Fort Worth, it's a shitty building. But I have turned that building around 100%, man. What it looked like from the outside to what it looks like right now on the inside is a total different beast. The building looks so much better than when I first got the building. Okay? And for him to not even evaluate that, I'm in a blight area trying to build a business where I can pay city taxes so the city will make money off of me. It's very disappointing that the city wouldn't take advantage of something like this to bring in more tax dollars for me running a haunted house in this building, you know? And I would pay my taxes in that building. We already have some kind of arrangement, right, to do something like that. But for him to just not give us a chance sucked. And I told the inspector that, and he goes, Ricardo, I'm willing to work with you. Listen, when there are warehouses in blight areas, we are willing to work with the owners. Let me come out there tomorrow, which is today. I told him, no, don't go out there. Let me clean up the property. Let me get it ready. So that's what we're going to do on Sunday. We're going to get the property back up and running. And we're going to clean up inside. We're going to clean up outside. And all the little small things that we need to clean up, we're going to do it. We are going to do it so we can impress the supervisor on Tuesday because Labor Day is Monday. So we're ready to work. I'll tell you that much. We are ready to work. So I told all the people, I got connected with all the junk removal companies. There's going to be 5 of us out there, including my brother and my sister, on Sunday to clean up the warehouse one more time and get it ready for the inspector on Tuesday. Now, Monday, Labor Day, we can all be out there too working on it. So, but we failed. And we'll see what the supervisor tells us. You know, the guy that came out yesterday, he was very vague in what needs to be fixed. And it was very disappointing that he didn't give me any advice. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave you all with that, guys. Thanks for staying tuned to the channel. Be careful on these estimates. Be more negotiable. Be better. Talk to you later. Bye.